All right, so welcome everybody. Thanks for joining our virtual engineering simulation conference for 2021. It needs to be virtual this year, and as we just said, hopefully by next year we can have a physical event again. I think things are changing. It's starting to move towards that. So hopefully by next year we will have a proper physical event again. So, just a few things. Good morning, and it's a great honor for me to welcome you all to our engineering simulation conference. There's a few things that I just want to point out. As you can see, we just want everybody to make sure, as it's a virtual event, that they disable their video functionality and that their microphones are on mute. There will be two sides to the morning session. Firstly, this Teams live chat live event where there's a Q&A afterwards. And then there is user presentations, which for each presentation, there is a live chat. So please contribute, ask questions. You're welcome to do so during the initial session and then also during the user conference later on. So if I just get all the admin out of the way, we can actually start. So myself, my name is Dara Nikirk. I'm the Business Development and Marketing Manager for QFinSoft in Southern Africa. For the rest of the morning, we have three key presenters. So we will also do a bit of introduction on their area. So firstly, we'll have David Henderson, who's the Channel Partner Manager for QFinSoft, Africa and Middle East Africa, for ANSWER specifically. Then we have Marcus Rees. So Marcus is the Vice President for Rocky Dem. He'll have a 20-minute session that he'll be giving an overview and introduction on the Rocky Dem software. And then thirdly, we have Jero Cruisefield. He is the Managing Director for CF Turbo, and he'll have a slot where he's presenting and giving you some information on CF Turbo itself. And then we'll have a Q&A session after that. So that's how the day will flow initially, the morning session. So I would just want the opportunity to introduce QFinSoft, who we are, what we do, and why we are actually all here today. So QFinSoft is in the simulation business. So we are resellers of engineering software, and we have been sole suppliers for ANSYS, CF Turbo, and Rocky, some of them since 1999, and we have two locations. Whereas the first head office is in Pretoria, and then we've got another office in Stellenbosch that's been for the last 7 years. Then I have some good news, and I just wanted to share with everybody. So some of you who knows QFinSoft by now do know the team. So you know Donnie de Kok and Gordon and Isaac Foster and Stefan, who's been with the company since it almost started. Myself joined 7 years ago. Dr. Evan Smith joined me in the Western Cape office. Then we've got Keith and we've got Paul as well. And there's the new people that joined the team since the previous conference is Jesse Quick, that some of you might have met before, and John Lee van Tonder. And then for those, which I wanted to say some good news, Wynand Prinsloo used to work for QFinSoft, and he left the company and he's actually coming back. So I'm very excited to announce that Wynand is coming back. He's joining the team again, and he will be part of the team in 2022. But to that, I just want to explain a bit how the day is going to work. So secondly, I want to say thanks to all our existing customers who contributed to this day as well, so that we can actually have some user conference or user cases that we can share with you. So after the initial session where we have David Henderson, Marcus Rees, and Jero presenting on the software tools and what's happening in the future with the products, we have a few client use cases. So firstly, as you can see, we are minerals. Jaco Kotze will presenting on Wear Minerals at 10:30. And then we have Jared Potgieter from USN, followed by Evan Smith, who you all know from Qfunsoft. He's the co-presenting with Phil Conradi for a Methics presentation. Following that, as you can see, we have a presentation from Stellenbosch University. Bianca Kendall is presenting on how she's used CF Turbo for a final year project. And then we have Lawrence Hobson from CubeSpace, who's going to present more on where within their product development cycle they've used ANSYS. And then we've got a video from CSIXX, which is more a product-related video, but it explains their business and how they've been using ANSYS. And then lastly, but not least, we've got Sanapi Biomedical, who's explaining how they've used the ANSYS product, but also a bit of a testimony on how they actually work with us as Qconsult. And then after that, we will have a closing statement from Isaac Postad. There's also some additional content that you can all look at. We've grouped it a bit so that it makes more sense. So there's a Rocky Dem additional content where you can look at introduction if you're not familiar with Rocky, customization, license as a service, and then there's actually user case from Cedotech on how they are using Rocky Dem to improve their bulk material handling process. Then we have additional content from ANSYS, where we're focusing on some of the new products and new areas of development. So ANSYS Granta, which is one of the new acquisitions, and then MotorCAD, Digital Twin. We also have a session on Alice Dino, and then also on AGI, how AGI fits into the whole picture. And then you can have a look at simulation for best practice on electronic reliability and ANSYS Cloud. So that's additional content on ANSYS. And then we also have a session on CF Turbo. So how CF Turbo has been used to integrate with ANSYS Workbench. So there's a lot of content. The initial session is focusing on live sessions with as use cases. And then after that, we have discussions, chat sessions available. And then followed by that, it's the additional content, which is available for everybody to access when they want to. Then last from my side, I just want to introduce the product portfolio that we as Qfunsoft offer with our channel partners. So we've got ANSYS, and we've got Rocky Dem, and we've got CF Turbo, as we said. So initially, ANSYS focused on the main physics, which is structures, fluids, electronics, and semiconductors, as you can see. ANSYS actually also focused on expanding on the physics. So as you can see on the structure side, they expanded into Alice Dino, they expanded into Sherlock, and on electronics, they expanded on MotorCAD. So this is all new expansion of the existing physics that they have. On fluids, we expanded on pulling in integrations with our channel partner, CF Turbo. And CF Turbo focuses on the turbo machinery for pumps, fan blowers, compressors, and turbines. If you then move away from the main physics, we also extended the main physics capabilities by integrating with Rocky Dem, which is our discrete element modeling tool. And then if you look at the bigger picture after the existing physics, ANSYS looked at focusing on systems and embedded software and safety analysis. So the system side is digital twin, embedded software. Some of you might be familiar with SCADE, and then on the safety analysis side on Medini. Further to that, they also acquired a few new products and the new companies really to acquire to include the new capabilities, which is photonics, optics, and VR experience. We also specialize in acoustic simulation, AV simulation, and then one of the new acquisitions as well, I would say, where they're not only focusing on physics, but they actually continue to expand by adding new divisions into the product portfolio, is focusing on mission engineering, where we acquired a company called AGI to support our client, really, our client base on including mission engineering simulation. And then with all the physics tools that we've mentioned, you can integrate ANSYS Granta material database. So that's also an additional division or additional acquisition we've taken on to expand the product portfolio. And then we also, on the platform side, focused on OptiSlang and Minerva. So this is just to give you a quick overview, really, on what we as ANSYS Qfunsoft, with the support of ANSYS, CF Turbo, and RockyDim, can support you as clients.